make those modifications that, not the one about taking out a whole section, sorry, but the modifications that clarified or you know, seem to fit with the impact of the ordinance. We would also come back with kind of an explanation of how the 30-year equity sharing works, just kind of walk through what that looks like. We would bring back information on housing experience over the last 2 years and where this might or might not have applied. And we would review the cost of the ordinance from the standpoint of attaching actual numbers. You know, we had estimates, but we will bring actual numbers on this. I do want to stress that the in lieu fee is not a fee as you think about adopting it with the fees. It is in lieu. In other words, the ordinance is to get additional housing. In lieu of providing that housing, then a fee can be paid. So it's a little bit the reverse. It's not the fee first and then the housing. It's the housing first, and the fee is an alternative to that. I did want to say that 2 years ago, when the inclusionary an inclusionary housing ordinance of some sort came to you, it was incredibly complex. It was quite a bit lengthier than what we've got now, and it was very regulatorily intense, and it was unworkable. I mean, I think the entire board said, take it away. And, you know, we want to see something different. So what we believe we've brought back to you is something that has a simpler structure. I think you can actually walk through and understand what it's trying to do. It does represent a compromise of some competing views. It is reflective of the times we're in. I mean, we built in as much flexibility as possible, and the application at 10 units is part of that flexibility, recognizing where we are right now. In terms of staff time and board time, if I thought for 1 second that more time would yield a more popular product, I'd sign up. You know, I'm here to tell you after 2 years, that is not my conclusion. And so we would like this product to move forward and then be able to look at it for fine-tuning as we go forward. And it is incentive-based, very much so. It has a very different feel and content than what we were looking at earlier. The 2009 housing element that we're working on now, we do have a chance to look at the wording. And what we really want to do is focus on high-leverage activities and have the housing element really concentrate on those things that will promote and create the most affordable housing, rather than the sense of what we've been working with is kind of a shotgun effect of trying to do a lot of different things. But that has provided a base. Now that we've got a base, we now want to focus in on those things that will have the best impact. And there are annual reviews for that housing element. So you will, on an annual basis, hear how we're doing, what's been produced, you know, what's happening with the housing ordinance, et cetera. So our recommendation and our hope is that we can move forward and we will bring you some additional information, but we would like to bring you forward a final ordinance for adoption on December 9th.
Supervisor Delbar is first.
Well, Ms. Glassy, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure your quick dismissal of my recommendation goes very far to get my buy-in. So if you're looking for concurrence with your recommendation, you don't have it from the supervisor. Sorry. I think the direction was clear, and I stick by the previous direction that this board gave. You take out that section and any concurrence, other parts of this thing, and then you've got my support. But the quick dismissal of that just doesn't get it for me. Thank you.
Supervisor Pinches?
This ordinance is basically to make us comply with our 2004 housing element. You just stated that you're getting ready to work on a 2009 housing element. So why don't we wait, as Supervisor Delbar said, that there needs to be some changes in that and make this, do the new changes to the 2009 housing element, and then make an ordinance that coincides with that new ordinance. We all agree that there needs to be some changes in that housing element in light of this. So why would we want to make and implement a inclusionary housing ordinance now based on a 2004 document when you're getting ready to update it with a 2009 ordinance? Why don't we wait and do that all at the same time? It seems to make a lot more sense. But to further my stance on this, I completely agree with Supervisor Colfax and what he said about this isn't going to help the situation. But it is an ordinance, it's a law, and I don't like to be called a lawmaker. But I've also been really consistent since I've been here in almost 2 years. I don't feel that the county residents can afford increased fees. And I've always voted against increased fees in every area through the county, and I'm not going to lead my support to, because I look at this as a simple fee. I don't believe, and maybe this is my fifth grader opinion on finances, but I don't see where additional fees lead to lower price of housing. It just doesn't work that way. Whenever you add on the developer, everybody passes on the cost, and the person that actually buys a house and signs their name on a loan is the one that's going to pay all of those costs, the cumulative. So it flies against common sense to think that when you can increase fees, it's going to be better for people trying to get in-house at any level. You know, I mean, we need more housing in this county, not just affordable. Some of it, as houses get older, they tend to sell for less and rent for less. But, you know, we've built, as Mr. Graff pointed out, you know, we're not even meeting any part of our state mandates.